On March 27, 2026, a car was found leaning to one side on a road in Florida. The car was damaged, the passenger door was open, and the driver got out by himself without serious injuries. The situation was quickly recorded and sent into legal review, and early reports said the driver seemed impaired at the time of the crash. This scene appeared at a time when people were again talking about Tiger Woods possibly returning to competition, showing a clear contrast between what might still happen and what had already changed before. There was a time when almost everything in his life worked the opposite way. His technique was repeated with great accuracy, results kept coming one after another, and his ranking proved a steady order. When mistakes happened, they were fixed during the same round. When pressure increased, others usually lost their rhythm first, but what happened outside golf did not follow that same pattern. It did not fall apart all at once, but slowly opened through small cracks over time, changing his whole path. The car on the roadside was not a beginning. It was just a moment that showed the distance between two different states, when everything had once been within reach and when simply continuing became the hardest thing to do. To understand how this path was formed, we need to go back to an earlier time before things started to fall apart. Tiger Woods was born on December 30, 1975, in Cypress, California, into a family where discipline was almost as important as education. His father, Earl Woods, who had served in the U.S. Special Forces, used a very structured way to raise him. Tiger's childhood was not full of freedom in the usual sense, but instead every action was watched, corrected, and guided toward a clear goal. Golf was not really a choice, but slowly became the center of his life from a very young age. His first public appearances were not in big tournaments but on a TV show when he was just 2 years old, where he showed golf shots in front of adults. From then on, being in front of people became normal for him and was part of his training. As he moved into junior competitions, he stood out quickly, winning many titles before moving up. He won 3 straight U.S. Amateur Championships from 1994 to 1996, showing years of steady development, not just a short burst of success. His father's training did not stop at technique. He would create distractions during practice, talking, moving, and making noise while Tiger prepared to swing. The goal was not to make it harder, but to teach him to stay focused even when things were not perfect. Over time, this built a strong mental habit, allowing him to stay calm under pressure when most others could not. This became a key part of his style, where emotions were controlled and decisions stayed steady. But this system also had limits. Since most of his time was spent on golf, he had little experience with normal life situations like relationships or social life. This did not cause problems early on, but it became important later when pressure came from outside golf. He also had to deal with identity. Tiger Woods has Asian, African, European, and Native American roots. At a time when golf in the U.S. was mostly white, he once used the term Cablinasian to describe himself. This meant he had to prove himself not just through results but also by fitting into a system not used to diversity. These things did not cause problems right away, but they shaped his mindset. He had strong discipline, focus, and control of emotions, but also limits in handling life outside results. When he became a professional, this system stayed with him, showing both strengths and weaknesses over time. In 1996, he left Stanford early and turned pro without any transition time. Everything he had built moved directly into a world where results meant money, rankings, and contracts. Just days later, he signed major deals with Nike and Titleist, much bigger than usual for a beginner. He had not yet won a pro title, but he was already at the center of a business system. His early tournaments were not just learning experiences. In October 1996, he won the Las Vegas Invitational, then soon after won the Walt Disney World Classic. 2 wins in one season gave him enough points to enter major events without full qualification. By the end of the year, he was named Rookie of the Year. What normally takes years happened in months. In April 1997, at the Masters, he started poorly but then completely turned things around. He finished at -18, winning by 12 strokes, the largest margin ever. At 21, he became the youngest Masters champion. This win changed more than just numbers. TV ratings went up, golf became more popular, and more people started playing. His schedule became busier, his media presence grew, and his audience expanded beyond golf fans. His games were shown in prime time, and sponsors built campaigns around him. His image connected sports and business in a new way. Each event created more attention, and that attention shaped how tournaments were run. From 1997 to 1999, he kept winning and became world number one. He made technical changes but still kept winning. His rhythm stayed steady, and he stayed in control no matter the situation. At the same time, his commercial value grew, and his name became bigger than just golf. By the end of the 1990s, he was no longer just a rising player but the center of the sport. In 2000, he played at an even higher level. At Pebble Beach, he won by 15 strokes, dominating the field. That summer, he won more major tournaments, keeping the same steady control. By 2001, he held all 4 major titles at once, known as the Tiger Slam. He also became the youngest to complete a career Grand Slam. His dominance was not just about skill but about control over the entire game. He kept a steady rhythm, fixed mistakes quickly, and made others feel pressure just by being there. When he built a lead, others took risks to catch up, which caused more mistakes. Between 2000 and 2002, competing against him felt like slowly losing. He shaped how the game was played. Few athletes have ever controlled a sport like that. Later, his dominance became less extreme, but he stayed at the top. He kept winning, though by smaller margins. He made changes to his swing for long-term stability. Injuries began to appear, changing how he trained and rested. In 2008, he won the US Open while injured, showing great toughness. But after that, he needed surgery and took time off. His structure started to change, even though results still came. Then in 2009, his personal life collapsed publicly after a car accident. His image changed quickly, affecting family, sponsors, and his career. He stepped away in 2010, and when he returned, things were different. He no longer led tournaments early and had to take more risks. His rhythm became harder to keep, and mistakes lasted longer. By 2011, he was still present but no longer dominant. From 2012, he rebuilt step by step, and in 2013 he returned to world number one with multiple wins. But he struggled in major tournaments. Injuries, especially back problems, became more serious. In 2017, another off-course incident happened involving prescription medications. It showed how his physical issues and recovery were affecting his life. His performance became less consistent, with good moments but no long streaks. By 2018, he returned again, winning the Tour Championship. In 2019, he won the Masters, his 15th major, not through dominance but patience and experience. After 2020, his schedule became limited due to his physical condition. He focused on fewer events and managing his body. His influence remained strong even without many wins. In his personal life, his marriage ended in 2010, and later relationships did not last long. His bond with his children, especially Charlie, became more important. They often appear together in golf events. In 2026, another car accident occurred in Florida, where he escaped without serious injury, but signs of impairment were noted. This moment added to the long path of changes in his life. Today, Tiger Woods plays less often, focusing on what his body allows. His legacy is not just wins but how he changed golf forever, shaping how it is played, watched, and understood.